This video contains content sponsored by John Wilson Blades and MK Blades. Opinions discussed in this video do not reflect the views of John Wilson or MK. Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Jennifer Kirk.
And I'm Dave Lees, and welcome to day 2 of the World Figure Skating Championships. Technically, it's day 3 for those who have been here, but it's about us, people. So
I know, it's all about us. It's TSL. Yeah. It's the Jenny and Dave lesson. No, so today is the first day of the event. We have the short dance starting in just a couple hours, but we want to recap some of the practices that we saw yesterday. Apologize about the sound. We were at the arena. We were just trying to get a recap up as soon as possible yesterday, people. So today we're doing it in kind of a more quiet area, so hopefully you can hear us a little bit better. But I want to start with the ladies because we came in yesterday. I was editing. You saw the first group of ladies. Canadian women were there. Talk to us about that.
Sure, it started with Elaine Chartrand, and she looks pretty good. You know, the day before, she did some great things in practice. Elaine, I think she's slipped out.
I think that's her thing, though. She's very... You never know what you're going to get.
She's very good, and she is very trained, and she had a much better practice yesterday overall. She looks solid for the event. I predict that she'll be in the top 10, possibly in the top 8 amongst these women. She was skating very well overall. It is a tough group. It was interesting. She was in the group. It was Lee Jun, it was the Koreans, and it was the Canadians. And the Koreans just have such good technique. Like you can see the flip jump technique in particular.
So straight, right?
So straight, the leg really reaches back. A good knee bend, and getting in there. It was reminiscent of Yunat in some areas. Just really great technique there. I have to say, Gabby Daleman looks good. Lee Jun, you'll see her start a program with a great Rosano, a great Triple Lutz. Sometimes errors then kind of creep in the program. She has been working for the last month with Frank Carroll since Four Continents. Does look like it's helped a bit. Obviously in a month it's not going to change your life, but it looks like I think they're planning on staying there for that, for the near future. So,
oh, really? After the event, they think they're going to stay?
I believe so. I believe that, they kind of have been using Carly's time as she figures out what she's doing. If she's
She has a new photography. Haircut and photography on Instagram. You can follow Carly Gold's photography. But I want to talk about the next group of women because we had the American women.
No, the next group.
Oh, okay.
Armenia, Latvia, and Russia. I think it was Armenia. If it was Azerbaijan, I'm sorry. But anyway, they were all from Moscow. Anyway, they get on the ice and they're announcing them, and we're all like, this is the moment.
Yeah, we're going to see the Russian women. Not
there. It was like The Sound of Music, and the Von Trapp family singers. And they're not there. And we're like, wait a second. We walked back from the hotel. I mean, we wanted to see the Canadians, but we were, come on. I was really stressing about if I was going to see Radianova in person.
We saw her this morning, though, so they are here. They just weren't here yesterday.
They've been practicing in Jersey,
Okay.
And she's very tall. She's like Jenny Hanyu.
I know, I was going to say.
Jenny had heels on, and she did it.
Yeah, I have these big heels on, and she's my daughter, but we do kind of look alike.
Yeah, you didn't want a picture with her, though. Anyway.
No, I like, it's a long story, but I like to have Dave be in the pictures. I think he looks better in those pictures. But let's talk about the next group, because, yes, Russian women we didn't see.
So we went to go get food. I got a salad. It had beets and quinoa, just so if you wanted to know. And kale, by the way.
Jillian would be proud. I got a glass of wine. Let's talk about the American and the Japanese women, though, because that was really the group that we were all excited to watch last night. I mean, phenomenal. And the first story, though, Mirai was the first of the American women, I think, to do her run-through. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Wait, Gracie, then Mirai.
Okay, Gracie and then Mirai, but let's talk about Mirai, because they did play the start of her music, and she was not on the ice.
Sur la glace, Mirai Nagasu.
Von Trumps.
And then nothing. It was the music plays. I have to say, more happened during Mirai's run-through than at any point the entire day, because everyone's looking, what's happening to Mirai, what's going on.
And Mao is just triple axel.
She starts doing her triple axels. I don't think she had done any before then. Maybe she had done one, but it was like triple axel. Triple axel. Boom. And Mao, she looks really steady, really calm out there. It looks like she's going to be going for a triple flip double loop in the program.
In the short program. That was the run-through she did.
As well as a triple loop and a triple axel. She looks steady, looks calm, looks ready to go. Such quality in her skating to see her in person. But Mirai's boot ripped again.
And it's the same boot that she wore at Nationals, so she must have, I know they rebuilt it, she wore it to 4 continents. You would have thought that knowing that perhaps there could be something with Paulina that she would have moved into a new pair of boots. What is the update? Because I know you were texting Tom this morning. What is the update
they've
today?
Worked on it. Mark Ladwig to the rescue
Yeah, we
again.
saw him yesterday.
So far, so good for Mirai. So,
I mean, it worked for her at Nationals. At this point, though, it's a little bit, why didn't she get new boots? Just...
I think she hasn't had a ton of time. I mean, a little time. I mean, she was still training. So she was on notice because she's knew that both Paulina and Ashley had been, having some situations over the last couple of months. I think she knew about Paulina, obviously, from 4 continents. So she didn't find out until last Monday if it was official. That was when the D-Day, when the decision had to be made. So interesting to note there. She didn't have a great practice the other day. We didn't see her skate yesterday beyond the first few minutes. But I have to say, in that group, Rika Hongo, the posture is horrific. Jenny, in person, we've seen...
Well, and I have some things to say about the other women. So this was our first time seeing Mao in person.
Oh, okay, yes.
We saw Satoko at Skate America, but the thing that strikes me about Mao, I don't think she missed a jump, maybe one axel here or there, but she was so consistent, so on. But she did her short program run through right after Ashley did her run through, without many of the spins. Just saying, just saying.
Ashley left out a middle section of the short program.
Okay, and the last spin, but anyway, Ashley, what really struck me is the performance quality. I mean, she grabs you and her skating skills are phenomenal. Mao is a different type of skater, but she's skating to a short program that is so similar to Ashley in its genre, the style, and she had no face. And I understand this was a practice session, but as a judge, I would have given the edge to Ashley had they both been clean. I mean, outside of the triple axel, obviously the technical edge is going to go to someone like Mao, but that performance quality, I don't get sometimes when I watched her yesterday. The technical is so proficient and it's phenomenal, but that performance, she really needs to turn it on.
I think if she really wants, I think the one thing that separates Mao from getting into the nines is really the face.
Yeah,
because
everything else about it is great.
It's really the look in the eye, the extra facial expression, and when we get into Dennis 10, we'll talk about performance execution. To me, that's the one little thing missing from interpretation, from performance execution, is just...
owning. She doesn't quite command the ice like a world champion. She's great in every other aspect.
She does skate from the neck down. It's definitely world champion quality. It's amazing to see her skate in person. She misses that extra Michelle Kwan.
Yeah. And Ashley has that.
Ashley has it from the face up, honey.
Right. Yeah. I thought that, the jumps looked good yesterday. The loops, she did a lot of loops. I saw some loop, half loops out. They were backwards. Great to see. Gracie, conversely, in that run through, again, doubling the flip, did a nice let's triple toe to start, nice double axel. And then Frank was really, as he should, laying it into her after that, because she can't afford to double. I mean, she'll be out of.
She'll be, probably out of the final group if she makes that mistake, or at least in 6th.
And I want to ask you, some fans were saying, well, why doesn't she just go to the loop? And you had a good comment about that.
I don't think it's the jump.
No.
Because she's done the loop before. It's not. I mean, the flip jump is fine. It's a good jump. I know that it's one that she misses. This is a mental thing. She can do flip after flip after flip. It's not. I know people think maybe it's the edge because she gets the call. This has nothing to do with a bad flip. It's everything to do with what's going on in her mind in the short program. You can kind of see her body language changed a little bit before because she goes around.
She gets very close to the boards too because she takes it.
Yeah, she takes it on a deep curve. But she looks in great shape. It was interesting at the end of practice how they all end. Gracie just did a spiral around the ice for a long time, trying to really get that
moment,
the moment and that extra refinement to her skating, trying to end. It was funny because Hanyu was done about 10 minutes early. Hanyu just did edges for the last 10 minutes of practice. He did cross strokes forward, cross strokes back, and to me that was the moment of the practice, was just watching him skate.
Well, I want to talk about Hanyu really quickly, just touch upon Satoku clean long program.
I'm so scattered. I have a few ladies' thoughts.
Oh, okay. Can I just say something about Satoku?
Oh, yes.
So Satoku, clean long program run through, but again, just like Mao, I think she could use just a little bit more face grab, you just a little bit more. But the fact that and I think she skated after some of the other, Ashley, she did all the spins. She always does all the spins. She was in her competition dress. The fact that she can do it time after time and still perform so consistently under pressure shows the skaters that I understand rest days, taking it easy, but every athlete is individual, but it doesn't have to be that way. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think there's a proper way of preparing. I actually texted Michelle Kwan and thought her opinion about, light days at Worlds.
Yeah.
And she said, no jumps in the freestyle first day. And then I said, yeah, and, left out, the end of the spins and that yesterday in practice. And I said, Michelle, I think that you're, the drought, since after your retirement, and Kimmy, I think that'll... Christine and Phil could be writing about it for many years to come. If this continues.
Let's hope not. I think they have the talent. It's just putting
I was
together.
being somewhat facetious. But you can see Michelle Kwan here. There's going to be a ladies event where if you want to spend $1,000 to watch Skating with Michelle Kwan, you can for the Hillary campaign.
Or you could donate it to our PayPal as well.
Yeah. But Ashley does have the performance quality.
Yeah.
She does have a different flip entrance. In the program, it was great. She missed one a little bit before. She's taking it on more of a curve, less of a straight line. We'll see how that goes for her. It was great in the program yesterday. She did a great loop as well. She does have that performance quality. The one thing about her edges, when she does the footwork and transitions, to really separate the skaters, you talk about Mao's great performance skill, they're on the ice at the same time. Now Ashley has the projection, and she has many great qualities that make you watch her out there. She does lose speed as the footwork and transitions go along, and she also loses speed in the spins a bit, which is, again, goes down to the grade of execution there and really the quality of those elements, just separating the ladies. Gracie looks great. She has that look. The short program doesn't grab me. I think that she still is a little stiff in parts, I think, for next year to really work on that knee bend, get the skating, get it to the next level, the Mao, level. I think, maybe she'll never be that skater. But one more thing about Gracie, she does look trained. We ran into her agent, and she was saying that Frank feels pretty good. He thinks that she is fully prepared for this event. You know what? She's really been focused on this event since we talked to her all season. This has been the event that she really wanted in addition to winning nationals back. I think she's going to go out there and give a gutsy performance. I don't know what to expect.
I really think the short program is going to be telling for both her and Ashley, and I actually expect both of them to do lights out performances in the short program. I think they're going to be upset, but I don't know I think I see little things that judges may hold back, particularly when it comes to Ashley, maybe grade of execution. So I don't think they'll be perhaps in the top 3 after the short program, but I think with Gracie, the short will be telling.
Yeah, Gracie could be in the top 3 after the short. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Ashley... It depends how they all skate. If everyone goes cleanly, it's difficult. Ashley does. To me, I'm a tough judge. Ashley might wind up in the top 3 because, to me, she loses some grades of execution on obviously the footwork, the transitions, and some of the spins. She loses speed there, and just not on the same quality as some of the other ladies. Obviously, we didn't see the Russian ladies practice. It hasn't mattered much this year. You'd hope it would at a World Championships. Miyahara's jumps, she's so consistent. Mm-hmm. To me, she's one of those skaters, she's better on TV. We've seen her practice twice now.
She's so itty-bitty, and I think when she's on the ice with these larger women, and I don't mean large, just the more muscular, the bigger women like an Ashley or a Gracie or even a Mao, they take more ice. She's just small, and I think, like you said, on TV, when the camera can be close up to her face, she has great, particularly in the short program. But I agree, and I think the technique was something that you noticed too.
Yeah, we've noticed this before, we've talked about it, but when you see it against the other top women, she never gets through the toes to the top of the toe pick on the
double axel, the
loop, the flip.
Top of the toe pick on flip and lets.
And
it's a pre-rotate.
She pre-rotates with the shoulders, not the whole body, but the jumps are not as big. I wouldn't give those positive grades of execution. As a judge, I think you have to kind of go base value for that. And I think that could hurt her if they decide to do that with her, but she's been so consistent.
Well, that's a token. And you talk about some of these American women, hopefully they'll have lights out performances, and I think it will help that the event is in Boston, but someone like Miyahara, she's been so consistent, the judges are going to reward that, in my opinion.
You have a positive impression of her in your mind, but when you see her in practice, it's great.
It's phenomenal.
But it's not the same, and it's so controlled. And I noticed this in dance as well. She reminds me a bit of the Shibs, where they're so controlled, the upper back, and Dennis tends to get a little stiff, where the French really relax into the ice. They're not as consistent, perhaps, but they're not letting it go. Miyahara is so controlled. It's almost like the entire program is a single thought. It's just...
Yeah, it's just... Which is...
Great.
And on the other side, it's great. So I think it's just... If somebody really turns it on and does that consistently, it may trump the focus and the quiet focus and the quiet consistency, but I think what she has is phenomenal. Let's talk about some of the men, because We were here. The Americans were up first yesterday.
Yes.
And in my mind, Adam really stood out on that practice session. We only saw him land one quad lutz, didn't even attempt it during his run through, not doing the quad toe here.
Yes, he did practice it, it's just not fully ready yet, so maybe for next season. I think Adam looks great. I predict him a top 8 finish, perhaps, if everything, top 10 for sure, I would expect. He's skating very well. He could even get, I think, about as high as 6th place, I would say, if there are some mistakes and he does well. He's really emphasizing the GOE here because he's wearing tights to practice. He holds every single jump landing. The other men do not.
Yeah.
A lot of the other men pull out. He's looking very good.
Well, and his triple axel you talk about. I mean, the aesthetic, but even the technical, the meat, and the program. Particularly, he skated right after Max. They both did their long program. And this, let me just preface this by saying, it's the night before the short program. The last thing you want to do is your long program run through. And we saw that with Max, whom we'll talk about next. But I think with Adam, he was selling that Beatles program. And it's great music. The audience was clapping along even during a practice session. I was really impressed.
Yeah, I think Adam really sold it. He got the crowd going. Every landing, he's really emphasizing his lines, his stretch. The spins look phenomenal. I think he's going to gain a lot of points, and the crowd will respond very well to him if he skates well. Not sure if he's going to go for that quad lutz. He could. He went for it at Nationals. Not sure.
He has nothing to lose. I would say go for it. Talking about quads, though, we saw Max have a rough Progolia-like fall on the second quad in his long program run through. He seemed a little bit disjointed. There's been so much talk, Dave, about his second mark, and I do see improvement, but when he's on the ice next to these top men in the world, does it really stand out?
And that's something that I think we can hear, I think, in our video. It's not that it's bad. It's just, he has made improvements, but a lot of what he's doing is holding an edge, but there's not much going on. It's not much high-level, difficult skating,
and the
difficult
posture's better on that edge.
It is better. It's also the end of a season. We've seen this program for a full year now, since the World Team Trophy last year. I think he's ready for a new program, another challenge to kind of take that step up in an artistic direction. It's good. It's gotten him to a level, but when you're against the other top men, it's still a real step behind. Especially, he's on with Grant and Adam, two rather artistic skaters in his group that he's sharing the ice with. And he was also on the same ice, I believe, with Javier, both Javiers. I love Javier Raya in polo. I don't think anyone told him it was the World Championships. He's a little...
What was Javier Fernandez wearing? It was like green army pants and then a really weird kind of skeleton-like...
So it's green skeleton shirt and these gray pants.
Oh, yeah. I'll mix it up.
But he was looking good. He was looking...
Hey, he was skating well. The run-through was a little bit hot and cold. He's one of the things that I noticed, he doesn't quite stand out when he's on the ice with a bunch of these guys, but then when he does his program, his run-through, he gets such great speed.
The charisma turns on.
Yeah, and he's one of these skaters we talk about with the ladies. He does look you in the eyes like someone like Mao maybe doesn't during practice.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to consistency with him.
Consistency. I expect him in the top 3 for sure. He looks fully prepared to fight for the medals. Fully prepared to fight for the top 2. I don't think he can really challenge Hanyu unless something really strange
like we
happens.
saw last season where the door is open.
But he looks really prepared and ready to go unless Patrick Chan comes in. I think Patrick and Max both looked frustrated, on practice. Some attitude when they missed something, really kind of anger. But they're both athletes who I expect to kind of take it up a notch.
But I like that Patrick, he seemed like he was practicing for himself. It was like this practice session could have been anywhere. He was trying to get through it. Triple axel wasn't that consistent. A little bit of issues on the quad to start out with. Did a good one in his program. Thoughts on him?
Yeah, and I just want to say, when we say someone's giving attitude, it's not giving attitude to another skater. It's just they're getting, usually with both
visibly
Max and
frustrated.
Patrick,
Yeah, it's just like, a little bit. And we like that. It shows passion.
It shows passion and it's also a motivating factor, especially at this point. It can get you through the nerves and off that slump. The one thing about Patrick that I notice is that he has different gears, and I think that Frank talked about this a lot. You can tell at a competition, Patrick is trained, his technique is there, some issues today. I expect he's going to turn it up a notch today based on how he skated yesterday, and it's going to be a different Patrick. We, at the end of the day, had made my fantasy picks. Based on the practices, I would say Shoma Uno for that bronze, or Boyang Jin, but Patrick Chan, you got to think he's going to turn it up a notch tonight. Like we saw in the free skate at Four Continents, he can will himself. Another thing that I like is a lot of times you see Hanyu as a combination. It's money, it's the rhythm is there. It's one continuous thought from one jump to the next. A lot of times on Patrick's quad combo, he gets very close to the boards. He doesn't have the greatest quad toe landing. He bends that knee, holds that edge, and then tacks on the triple toe. It's a little bit of a pause in between the two jumps.
But he still gets it. He knows his body.
And he's a fighter.
Yeah.
And I like that about him. He's a real athlete out there on the ice. When you see him, very impressive, obviously amazing skating skills in person. The music for the free skate works for me more in person. I expect him to skate well here. We'll have to see if he's on the podium. That top 5 is tough. Shoma Uno was very, very consistent yesterday, I found, overall. Again,
just like we saw at Skate America, I think he's one of those skaters who could really benefit from mistakes from someone like a Patrick. That if someone, like we talked about during our preview show, he has all of the goods, but it will come down to whether or not the judges feel like we saw with Miyahara last year, the door's open, it could be his time. If not, maybe next year, honey.
Yeah, and he did a clean short program yesterday. We saw Hanyu actually take a fall on his quad yesterday.
Yeah, the quad combination.
Yeah, the quad combination.
He doubled it.
He doubled it, sorry. He doubled the quad. Later, he fell on the quad Saukow 2 times in a row. Fell the wrong way. Kind of a gnarly.
And he did a clean long the day before, so perhaps it's just, again, getting some of... It was kind of a later night practice,
and he's used to practicing by himself. I noticed that after the quad Sau, he was kind of looking at his pattern, checking things. He did a triple loop, checking that backspin rotation in the air. So Hanyu, to me, is a very cerebral, smart person about his body, about his technique. I expect him to go out today, skate very, very well. Dennis 10, some great things.
The axle was giving him issues yesterday.
Actually, we did see a quad Sau at the beginning of that program.
It was two-footed.
But we did see, I think, another one as well. Good quad toes. Triple axle issues. He did a lot of great triple flip, half loop Sau combinations. The one thing about his program is because he's adding in the setups to add the quad in, I think he's missing a lot of what's really great about his skating. He's really missing a lot of the choreography. His free skate to Romeo and Juliet, it seems very
good,
generic.
But I think the strong point is the footwork at the end, and obviously all the jumps are done at that point, but he really turns it on. He gets passionate.
To me, 3 minutes of dead space.
Yeah, it's a little bit too little, too late.
And the one thing about performance execution, when he's going into the quads, he kind of like slumps the shoulders forward, relaxes.
He uses his body to get
a little bit. He looks, to me, I just don't think it's the magical season for him. He could wind up on the podium. He's one of those men, definitely has the ability. You don't know what you're going to get. To me, I just have this feeling there are so many good men. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it up enough for tonight, to turn it on.
I think that'll probably be telling. But as we start to wrap things up, let's touch upon the dance a little bit, because we are heading to the short dance in just a few minutes here. Thoughts? We saw Papadakis and Cizeron great outside of the run through. In the run through, she had an issue on the twizzles. Shibutanis were very strong. As for Weaver and Poge, second time seeing them in person. We saw them at that event in Salt Lake. Yeah. But I saw noticeable improvements in their skating performance quality.
Yeah, they looked great. They did their free dance yesterday. Chalk and Bates also did their free dance. To me, just not the same quality, and to me, their program is very one note.
Yeah.
The Shibs looked very solid. The French, the one thing, the timing on the pattern with her twizzles, you talked to Renee Roca about it. You think about Walt's timing. To me, I see where people do criticize the French in the short dance pattern, especially if you're counting with your internal metronome there. But their skating quality is so superior, I do think they'll be behind after the short dance. That's my prediction.
Well, a lot will be told tonight after the short dance, and also the men's short program. You can follow all our coverage on Facebook.com/theskatinglesson and Instagram.com/theskatinglesson, and we'll be tweeting from the event too. I hope you guys enjoyed our recap. I hope you guys played fantasy with us. We'll be very excited to watch those results as they come in.
Yes, so as always, we want to remind you to make sure your boots are in really proper order before you get to the World Championships. Hold it edge and look sexy.
Bye, guys.